Hi, it's Matt here from Go Green Auto. So here we have a Hyundai Ioniq for sale. This is a 2020 model, 38 kilowatt hour battery pack, and this one is a Premium SE, so top spec. The Premium SE ones get all the toys, so you've got LED front headlights, you've got the leather interior with both heated and ventilated front seats, heated back seats, heated steering wheel. You got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard, upgraded sound system, semi-autonomous driving. They've pretty much got every sort of accessory, well, every bit of tech you could think of in a vehicle. You've also got blind spot monitoring, cross detection at the back, cameras on the back, parking sensors front and back as well. So yeah, they really are loaded with technology. And this one is in this light grey paint. It's a very modern colour, looks very good on one of these actually. And at the front here we've got the front sensors, green number plates because these are of course zero emission, flat badge there because the radar is behind there, and these flaps in the front grille open up to give additional cooling when it needs to, but they stay closed to help with the aerodynamics, because these cars are very, very efficient. So even though this has only got a 38 kilowatt hour battery, it does about the same range as most 50 kilowatt hour cars, because these will do about 1.5 miles more miles per kilowatt hour. So I'll just quickly talk about charging first. You release the charge port there with that button, and your charge port is at the back on the side, and this has got CCS DC rapid charging and then type 2 AC charging at the top. So AC charging is what you would typically use overnight at home or during the day at your workplace, so slow charging when you park the vehicle, and the DC rapid charging here is what you would use if you're pulling into a petrol station or a motorway services to get that very fast rapid charge. And then in the back here we have got our AC charging cable, so type 2 that plugs into a wall charger or a public charging post, and then type 2 the other end which plugs into the car. And then here we have the portable charger, often called a granny cable, which allows you to charge the vehicle on a 3-pin plug. So these do take longer because they are purposely restricted to 10 amp, because you can't draw any more than 10 amp through a UK plug and your main socket and home wiring for any long periods of time. And because this has got a reasonably large battery, it does take a very long time charging at 10 amp. But these are very handy to start with until you get your wall charger installed, which might take 2 or 3 weeks. And handy things to have, because if you go and visit a member of the family or stay away at night at a hotel, you can plug that into a normal socket and get an overnight charge. If you're plugging into a public AC charger, obviously use this cable and you keep this in the car. But if you're using the DC rapid chargers, you don't need a cable for that, because they are always on the charger, because they have to be about that thick. More at the back, I'll just show you one nice thing with these. So that roller blind parcel shelf can fit underneath the floor here, so there is a space there to fit that underneath the false floor. So if you're out and about and you want to drop the seats and load something up, at least you've got somewhere to put that. You don't have to sort of lay it on the back or leave it in the garage before you leave. And the seats on these do fold reasonably flat. They're on a level with that boot floor, so quite practical when you want to put big items in, and at least you don't get that huge step up like you do in a Nissan Leaf. And then here we've got our heated seat switch for the rear seats, and that is 2-stage, which is quite unusual for rear seat heating. And the front seats have got 3-stage heating up here for both sides, and you've also got cooling, again 3-stage. So what that does is it blows cool air through the perforations in the leather, which is really nice in the summer. So these are got loads of kit, as I said. You've got electric seat on the driver's side with a 2-position memory, so you can have husband and wife seat positions, and now my seat's moving back. If I just start it up, very nice dash on these as well. A nice mixture between physical buttons and touch sensitive buttons. So you've got a very wide screen up here for your navigation, media and all that sort of stuff. All the heating controls are down here. You've also got driver only on the Ioniqs. But yeah, all pretty standard really. We've got an EV button there which gives you all the EV settings and charge times as well, battery information, predicted range. You've just got loads of information on these, and you can also see nearby charging stations as well. So as I said, these have a 38 kilowatt hour battery, but they're hugely efficient. They do a lot more miles per kilowatt hour than any other EV basically. These are probably the most efficient EV out there on the market. So what that means is you just get more range for your buck. So you're not spending a lot of money on a very large battery pack. And as I said, these do about the same sort of range as you would get out of a 50 kilowatt hour vehicle. So at the moment the battery is at 75%. It's got a predicted range of 149 miles there. That information's replicated up there on the dash. But it is possible to get 200 miles or a little bit more out of these. And I was driving this the other day after a charge. It showed 198 miles on a full charge. And that's quite easily achievable in the summer if you drive efficiently. And as I said, it is possible to do over 200 miles in these if you are gentle with your accelerator basically and keep your top speed down low. Obviously in the winter, range is reduced on electric cars because the heater system does use a lot of energy and the battery gets cold and is less efficient when they're cold. But having heated seats and a heated steering wheel and preconditioning, it all helps to minimise range loss in the winter, and these don't see the sort of range loss that other vehicles can see, particularly if you use the preconditioning. So what that is you set a time in the car that you want to leave in the morning, and then while the car's plugged into the charger it will switch on and put the heating on and get the cabin ready for that time. So in the winter it'll put the heating on. If it's cold and icy outside, it will melt all the ice off the windows and get the cabin ready for that time you want to disconnect and go to work typically. In the summer it will do the same, but it will cool the car and get the car ready. So when you disconnect from your charger, you've still got 100% range, 100% battery, but your cabin is already nice and warm and toasty. So maybe then you can do your commute without the heating on at all, and instead you just use the heated seats and heated steering wheel, and that genuinely does keep you warm. But this has got a heat pump heating system, so it is pretty efficient as they can get. So you don't see those huge losses in the winter. So at worst you're looking at about 20% difference in range between summer and winter if it's cold, and obviously you're using that heating there. But unless it's really cold, most of the time you're not going to see that sort of drop in range. The other thing I'll just mention on these, it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So it does have that phone mirroring if you plug in via USB cable down there, which is really nice, and a really nice way of using your maps and WhatsApp and everything like that while you're driving, using the voice commands from either Google or Siri. But the map and the media and everything is also very good on here as well anyway. I think the Hyundai and Kia interfaces are one of the best. They're just really easy to get to grips with and use. The other thing nice about the Hyundai Ioniqs is you've got adjustable regen. So on the back of the steering wheel here you've got flappy paddles where you can adjust the regen. And in its strongest mode these have got proper true one pedal driving, which makes it really nice to drive. And in its lightest you can actually turn the regen off completely and coast, and that's ideal if you're driving on a motorway or want to take advantage of a gradient in the road, and that would be its most efficient way of driving. And if you get used to using the flappy paddles and adjust the regen as you're driving, you really can drive these vehicles incredibly efficiently. I've seen as much as 9 miles per kilowatt hour on ours in the summer. So yes, I've had one of these cars for a while. We've got the 28 kilowatt hour version, and ours has actually done 86,000 miles now, and the battery is still at 100%. As it is on this car, the battery is still at 100%, which is what you'd expect from a Ioniq at this age anyway. And the other thing, while we're here, I'll just show you the mileage. There is 9,889 miles. So now the condition, because obviously this is the main reason for this video, is to describe the condition. And if you've seen my videos before, you know I point out every minor little stone chip mark or scratch I can find. I don't hide anything because I want people to know exactly what they're buying. And then because of these videos, most people buy the vehicle from afar without coming here to view it first, and then I get the vehicle delivered to you. But of course it's here at Lyford if you do want to come and view and test drive. So really very little to show you on this. It's only done 9,800 miles or so. It's a 2020 model. It's just in immaculate condition, but we'll have a quick walk around anyway. But there's really not much to show you. At the front there's no noticeable stone chips. Well, I don't think any at all really. Well, if there, yeah, there's a couple there. If there are any, they're below 0.5 millimetre, not even worth pointing out. No scratches or scuffs or anything on the front bumper. The alloy wheels are all really nice and scuff free. The only mark on the alloys is that tiny little bit of corrosion there where water gets underneath the lacquer on the diamond cut bit, but really insignificant. Tyre tread depths are all on the website, and I would also say, if you have a look at the website and go on the photo gallery, you can look at every panel and everything I'm pointing out in full screen and zoom up and have a good look in detail. There isn't a single scratch or dent anywhere on the bodywork, not even on the mirror caps. If you see any little black marks, it's just flies. They're all landing on the car. But yeah, there's no damage at all anywhere in the bodywork. All the other wheels are absolutely immaculate. If I'm being super picky, all I can find on this car is there is a scratch there on the rear bumper, and that's just where stuff gets loaded into the boot. And then here somewhere there is a bit of bubbling under the paint there. And that's obviously not rust because this is a plastic bumper. It's just where the paint is lifted off the surface, because I can actually push it down. It's almost like there's a bit of air underneath the paint. And that's the size of my sort of little fingernail. But yeah, nothing to worry about. And then the only other thing I found was there was a little crack in this bit of silver trim at the bottom here. But again, none of it's loose. It's just obviously where it's hit something when reversing. But the rest of it is all in really nice condition, and those are all obviously very minor, and most people wouldn't even notice them if I hadn't pointed them out. The rest of it is absolutely immaculate, and to be honest, it still looks like a new car. So back inside here, this does have two keys, of course. While we're here, I forgot to mention we do have a wireless charging pad there as well. And then here we've got the paperwork, we've got the locking wheel nut there in the glove box. The V5 here, one previous keeper, probably because it was pre-registered, because most electric cars tend to get pre-registered by the dealer to get the grant. And the registration date is the 13th of January 2020. And obviously it's got the remainder of the manufacturer's warranty. These have a 5-year warranty on everything, and then an 8-year warranty on the battery pack. And then here we've got a owner's manual, huge thick owner's manual there. And then we've got the wallet here with various other manuals and paperwork. Yeah, it's all there, even the Hyundai keyring from the original supplying dealer, which wasn't used. And the service record here, where are we there? And it was serviced at 5,330 miles on the 17th of the 12th, 21. So there we go. I think that's pretty much covered everything. All the information about the charging range and everything like that is on the website, so do have a look at that. Obviously everything works without any faults or errors, and this vehicle's ready to go. So if you're interested, give me a call or email, and as I said, I can get these delivered anywhere in the country, and it will come to you on a flatbed or a trailer, and it will be fully charged and ready to use.